Before World War II, Douglas MacArthur knew little of defeat. A prodigy at West Point, first in his class, the most decorated American soldier in World War I, the Army's youngest Major General, and then youngest Chief of Staff. This was a man who not only made his way, but got his way. But his infallibility would be tested in the days and weeks following Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor. The day after their attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese invaded the Philippines. General MacArthur had been in the Philippines since 1935, serving as a military advisor. By the end of December 1941, MacArthur, along with U.S. and Filipino units, had been forced to retreat to Bataan. For the next 2 months, MacArthur desperately tried to defend against the Japanese. But in February 1942, President Roosevelt ordered MacArthur to abandon the country. The general escaped to Australia in March, and upon his arrival, made his intentions clear, famously stating, "I shall return." This was the kind of defeat MacArthur was unaccustomed to. He left behind some 70,000 U.S. and Filipino troops. Many would succumb to the infamous Bataan Death March at the hands of the Japanese. MacArthur was bent on redemption, and for the next 2.5 years made the Philippines his mission.
The capture of Los Negros bypasses Rabaul and further neutralizes that important sea and air base. The island contains a vital airstrip and places MacArthur's forces many miles closer to the Philippines.
After successfully battling his way through New Guinea, MacArthur finally had the Philippines in his sight, and on October 20th, 1944, the men of MacArthur unloaded on the Philippine island of Leyte. Hours later, General MacArthur did exactly what he said he was going to do 2.5 years earlier.
But now, fulfilling his pledge to the Filipino people, General Douglas MacArthur has returned, accompanied by overpowering military strength and by every able-bodied man who, under orders, left the Philippines with him.
"I shall return" had become "I have returned." But it was only the beginning of the liberation of the Philippines. In January 1945, MacArthur pushed into Luzon, the country's main island.
On northern Luzon Island, American troops move up the enemy-infested Villa Verde Trail. By their side march Filipino patriots carrying food and ammunition.
It would be until July before the Philippines was declared liberated, and by then, only 1/3 of the men MacArthur had been forced to abandon in 1942 were still alive. But the general's determination to make good on his promise would become legendary, recalled with pride in the years following the war.
Directing the attack, the general seemed to be everywhere at once. Every day, at some point in the front lines, his men would spot the familiar faded field marshal's cap and the outsized corncob pipe.
In his 6-decade-long military career, Douglas MacArthur's accomplishments were prolific. But it's the image of him wading ashore onto Leyte, corncob pipe in hand, that faded field marshal's cap. That's how the country best remembers the man too stubborn to give up on a promise.
Sinirangan ng Leyte na sasakupan, MacArthur nga ka sariganan kapuligan. Di ka namun pasibay anhasta akadayunan. MacArthur nga amon bumto anam tugmaadahay mo. An kapawa ikaw na sulhugan, an progreso himpigitan, an hingyap na katalwasan amon na tagamdaman. Kanan punuan pinaning kamutan, an punupyo na libayan. Katauhan pamatii anang bungto MacArthur Leyte, anang bungto MacArthur Leyte. Hadapithan sinirangan kanang Leyte na sasakupan. MacArthur nga kapatagan katahong makikitaan. Han katawhan na bubuhian, hagaunghan katagatan. An Diyos nun nga pamatasan, indudumdumhan nga tanan. MacArthur nga amon bungto anam tugmaadahay mo. Han kapawa ikaw na sulhugan, an progreso himpigitan, an hingyap na katalwasan amon na tagamdaman. Kanan punuan pinaning kamutan, an mulupyo na libayan. Bungto nga hinalaan, sariganan kapuligan. Di ka namun pasibay anhasta akadayunan. MacArthur nga amon bungto anam tugmaadahay mo. An kapawa ikaw na sulhugan, an progreso himpigitan, an hingyap na katalwasan amon na tagamdaman. Kanan punuan pinaning kamutan, an punupyo na libayan. Katauhan pamatii anang bungto MacArthur Leyte, anang bungto MacArthur Leyte.
People of the Philippines, I have returned. By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil, soil consecrated in the blood of our two people. We have come dedicated and committed to the task of destroying every vestige of enemy control over your people. The hour of your redemption is here.